enough.
I think that's good. Okay.
All right.
Pardon the technical difficulties. Okay, I'd like to welcome our next speaker, Cesar Benjamin. He is a digital government director all the way from Monterrey, Mexico. He will be talking about extending Wagtail CMS as spatial data. Give a big warm welcome to Cesar.
Thanks. First of all, I want to say English is not my primary language. I have difficulty sometimes to express me. So anyway, I will try to do my best. A disclaimer: in my country, there is some thing with the word infrastructure, and it's difficult to say. And I will say SDI instead of spatial data infrastructure from this month. The definition in boxes something about a set of technology, rules, people, data, and so on for the management of territory, mainly in government aspect topics, but can be used in research, academics, and so on. On the other hand, Wagtail, everyone knows, is a CMS, not a spatial data infrastructure. It's mainly for informative content management, for blog, news, forms, for surveys, and document and image management. Clearly, Wagtail is not an SDI, right? I personally, I worked with Wagtail for deploy many sites in Monterrey in government. We have a single instance of Wagtail to manage all the content of all the sites in multi-site perspective. I have to tell something about the old databases in his starts was not thinking about the spatial types. In the beginning was the text types, the types, a few others. Yes. Fortunately, Postgres have an extension which allow us to manage spatial data in the manner that is not only the representation of the geometry. Instead of that, have many operations, spatial indexes. Can we do queries like in the tabular data, but in the geometrical way? That was possible along the evolution of the databases, and today with PostGIS we can do that. When we think about representing a place, the most natural way of thinking is cut files, like in this slide. These files give a spatial representation, but it's only draw. It has no information relative to the features of saying drawing. We are not able to extract any useful information without the adequate context. The information is, in fact, part of the drawing. It's not data information, in fact. There is a format called shapefile building by the company called Esri, who is a company that provides technology for spatial information. Was the first of company that did that. But shapefiles today is an outdated format. It's based on DBA files, who comes from the DBase tree, a database from the 70s. His spatial component was an independent file apart from the DBA and is a collection of many files, and that becomes complex to handle with time. In the other hand, PostgreSQL have natively all that characteristics. Does not matter that it was not visible. I only want to show the great amount of data types that it supports natively. Django is able to support the majority of the operation with that data types, and this form of the ORM and Django REST framework can do it through his serializers. This means that nowadays all the necessary ways to have a spatial data content management system exists. And SDA is a reality representation about where something happens. Mainly we use abstraction of reality using points, line, or polygons to representation of something in space. That is now possible in databases level thanks to the extension PostGIS. With all that pieces, we can build an SDI. In fact, Django is able to handle queries to the ORM and his spatial operations natively without no needs of external libraries or other things. But if all the parts for this system exist, there is not one yet. Well, yes, it exists. In the market are some alternatives today, but are so complex, like that diagram, need a lot of components integrated and connected to get the complete system. Nowadays, there are two solutions that were widely known and used. For one hand, ArcGIS Online, which is expensive and not so standard in many aspects, and GeoNode built with Django and GeoServer. Since all of us here believe in and care about free software, I am going to leave out ArcGIS from this conversation. GeoNode is a strong project that gathers many existing libraries and frameworks and uses them to create a platform for spatial data management as a sort of CMS. They even promote themselves as a spatial data infrastructure content management system. but it's a huge amount of technologies, libraries, and stuffs. It can be very complex for any person who approach for his first time. So I will comment a bit about my previous experience with spatial data. I was working in the Universidad Nacional Autónoma de México in a project for the government of Jalisco at the year 2018. This was an inventory of urban trees in the metropolitan area. This needs the handle of data and databases about the existing trees in the city, his health status, and so on. When I did this work, I had to do it in an artisan way. All the parts there, I did a platform for registry of hazard and risk map with gender perspective for the Zapopan, Jalisco, Zapopan City in Jalisco too, in the 2020 year. This platform is actually yet. And index of social environmental conflicts in all the country. This was made for the same university. This last was made completely in Wagtail when the persons who request me the platform, they come with a set of files, and I ask how they think they will warranty the extensibility of the data. Then I propose to use Wagtail instead of the files. But this way was a bit hard for me because each time, each new platform, I had to build a new platform from zero, model each part, and so on, and it was very hard work. Then I discovered a platform called GeoNode, as I said before. In fact, we use GeoNode in the government of Monterrey as our main spatial data infrastructure. Is really a very good product, but I guess it's can be not enough for certain things of stuff. For example, I discovered that the last version was stuck in Django 3.2 version. It's so old. Then I open an issue in GitHub. I take the tasks of upgrade many of the dependencies and propose that it must be updated. I did a lot of work to upgrade GeoNode to the recent version of Django. It exists issue closed today. But I guess we can do it better. The platform is so huge, it's it demands a lot of computer resources. It requires two databases, one for Django and metadata, and one more to data for GeoServer, and the two services exist separately and needs a bridge to handle information from one place to another, and the sum of all its parts makes it a weird and painful Frankenstein system. And to make things harder, installation, fine-tuning, and maintenance require a high knowledge and skills of many technologies. So my proposal is following the KISS principle with only Wagtail and a library that publishes spatial data standards called PyOGC API. PyOGC API is a library for the standard OGC API, which is a standard in development, yet is a modern standard. Then with only that these two pieces, we can have a simple and modern SDI. I was working in a proof of concept using these two parts, and I am about to show that proof of concept. Now it runs and allows me to store and publish native RESTful APIs from Django REST framework and PyOGC API. It consists in a single service, Django, a single database, can have a fine-grained ACI basic in Django only. And well, where does Wagtail come into this picture? I like a lot the workflows, draft revisions, that kind of stuff that Wagtail provided us in pages, but I used that the mixins that implements that for handle the flows in my programs. Okay. I want to show. How can I change? I cannot. Yes. Yeah. There you go. Thank you. That's it. Okay, this is my demo of using Wagtail for spatial data management. In GeoNode, for example, we have flat tables with data. Each file we upload to the platform has a set of registry in a flat manner, and we have no relations and a way to update or add new registries. The set keeps like was updated, and we can add new registries. Then, well, I have many types of resources tables that for points, polygons, lines, and so on. I have this was made as a snippet there, not as page, because the page have a lot of fields that is not necessary. We have the ability to add files, but in this is another manner different to the documents handle, because I want to upload the file once per layer, and not the file don't need to stay for other uses. When the file is added, I can progressively add more files and extract the spatial data. And I will try a wrong file. This file, this will make show an error because it's not the same kind of file. And it's not huge. I will start with no files. I can add a spatial registry. That's not matter. And the data can have any shape of his structure. I want to avoid the modeling of data each time the new dataset is needed. Then I can use JSON data. And does not matter because it's minded with capacity to only add the data. Then, if I have a spatial format file, I can add a file with geometry and data. And now we have all the data. Each registry is in individual space with his not spatial data in JSON format. We can change the fields on this is not constrained to a fixed structure. All this I am telling to you is about limitations I found in GeoNode when I upload a file in GeoNode. The structure of the file constrained me to always use that structure. But with this way, I can add a new field and I don't know what happens. But with this, we can have management of spatial data inside Wagtail in the Wagtail way, with the use of revisions and drafts, workflows, and we can see the history of all the updates in the data, but connected and published as a spatial standard using the PyGeo API library. For example, this. We can take information that is in Wagtail at this moment and using as this API standard. This page seems a seems to be a visualization application, but it is not. It's an HTML way, because in fact is an API with two modes of view, the API view and the HTML view with the same data. Then the thing I want to achieve is to have an API to handle spatial data, but handle spatial data is hard today because we have to do it manually, taking our files, configuring, editing configuration files, and so on. There is not a way to handle this information in a comfortable way, like Wagtail or Django admin. Then I want to take the two parts and make only tool to manage, publish, and using the spatial data. This, as I told is a proof of concept. There is yet work to do. I have to completely integrate this by Open Geo API, because today I have to configure manually in manual way each layer added in Wagtail to see in this space. But like is made with Python, it is possible. Then in a couple of weeks, I guess I can achieve the Fury integration. I lost the presentation, but was the last slide. So it's I guess it's all from me.
Thank you, Cesar. That was really cool what you've built with Geospatial and Wagtail. So we're going to take a 5-minute break, and then we will wrap up with our packages discussion, which would be a panel. So 5 minutes, and we'll see you all back.